What's up, family? Welcome to Positive Power Double XI, J. Royce Films. I'm Jerry Royce Live, and you're watching The Red Room with Shay Samuels, right here on Music Vision Television. That's right, MVTV-21.com. It's going to be awesome, y'all. So please share this file. It's going to be awesome. You know what's going to be? It's going to be lit.
Hello, I'm Dr. Eric Holmes, the author of The Power of the Sea and Soulful Prayers. That is #1 best-selling. And I am in The Red Room with Shay.
Hi everyone, welcome to The Red Room. I am your host, Shay Samuels, and you're joining me for another episode. Thank you so much for joining. Today we are here with my girl, Wendy. Hi, Wendy.
Hi, Shay. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for being on the set with me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I'm excited about it. We have an amazing topic today. We are talking about giving willingly. Anybody can give anything willingly. Anybody, like if I handed you a gift right now, you would just say thank you. But if I were to take that gift back from you, you would be like, Indian giver. You would say Indian. That was the back in the day. You would say Indian giver, right? But really? What happens when we give away certain things that we don't want to give away? We're not prepared to give away these things. We're not prepared to let go. And so you and I were just talking about that a little bit behind the scenes, and you were just telling me about some of the things that you went through and how some of it, because you didn't let it go, it caused some health issues.
Yes, absolutely. So I am a personal and professional development strategist, and I transitioned. My formal schooling was education, and I was an administrator for many years in the public school system, and my health began to fail. I was always experiencing something.
Yeah.
I used to tell my friends, if you go to the doctor and they come up with something that you've never heard of, then I have it.
Yeah.
Like, it's things that no one ever heard of. And I realized it began to get more stressful, more traumatic.
Yeah.
And I was having signs and hints that things were not going well with me.
Yeah.
My mental health began to fail, my physical health began to fail, and I really began to struggle, and I could not understand why, and I kept pushing through. I had gone through breast cancer twice, and I kept pushing through. I'm working, doing chemo, doing radiation, could barely get up the stairs, and I realized later that it was God giving me signs that I needed to transition. I needed to do something different. And it took for me to physically be on my sick bed, to not be able to get out, that I recognized that, like, I got to do something different.
Yeah.
Like, I really have to do something different. So because I wouldn't sit down willingly, I believe, then he sat me down forcefully and made me, like, re-examine where I was in life and where I needed to be.
Wow, we were just talking about Jonah too, and how Jonah was kind of similar to that. You know, Jonah actually had a calling on his life, and there were things that God wanted to see happen with him. And I make a joke about it, but it is true, kind of, because he went across the bridge, but he had to pay a toll when he went across the bridge. Do you know, if he just did what God was calling him to do, that probably would have been a free ride.
Absolutely.
So we have to pay when we are not ready to release what God is wanting us to release. Sometimes it can be your health. In her case, it was her health. Sometimes it could be family members, people who are addicted to drugs or addicted to alcohol. I mean, addicted to something. You risk losing a lot of your surroundings. People lose their jobs because of this kind of stuff. And so, you know, it's one of those things where you just have to really start, like you said, to re-examine
Right.
And reevaluate life.
Absolutely. And part of it is we're just being disobedient.
Mm-hmm.
All
of it is we're being disobedient.
Absolutely.
It's not part of it. It's all of the. It's all of it.
Absolutely. And it's it's scary because everybody is not meant to walk with you on your journey. So when you think about letting people go, be it your friends or your family, then that's a scary thought.
Yeah.
These people that you have had in your life forever, and it doesn't mean that you don't love them any less.
Yeah.
It just means that God needs to take you somewhere that they're not able to go with you.
Yeah.
And when we don't, we face the consequences.
Yeah.
And we have to, and I'm always a believer that things are not a coincidence. Things happen for a reason.
Yeah.
So when we are not being obedient, then God has to kind of step in and help us to realize that we need to go.
Yeah, Ecclesiastes 3 says, to everything there's a season. To everything there is a season. And I believe when people don't believe that they have to let things go, why would it say there's a time to break down and there's a time to build? There's a time for love, there's a time for hate. And I'm not saying it per the scripture, but there is a time for everything. And so for the people who are like, God ain't telling me to let that thing go. I've heard of people buying boats, and then they hear God say, give that boat up. And they will question God and say, why would you tell me to give it up? Why would you have me buy it and then give it up? What do you say to people like that?
Did he tell you to buy it? Or did you make did you pray over
that
it first?
Was transparent. That was transparent.
Did
he tell you in the first place?
Or did you just make an impulsive decision and buy it?
And what you don't know is in the letting go, you probably are saving yourself thousands of dollars. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know. Sometimes it could be a storm down the road coming, and then you're like, oh.
And something as simple as getting stuck in traffic. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, we hate being stuck in traffic. And that being stuck in traffic could save your life.
Yeah. You just don't know. Let it go.
Absolutely.
Let it go.
Life is too short.
Yeah. At times we begin to reminisce on things that made us feel good. We think about things that my mom used to make the best spaghetti. And she still makes the best spaghetti. If you're watching this, Mom, you still make the best spaghetti. But spaghetti's not good for me anymore. And I can't reminisce. I mean, I can think about it. My mouth will water. But there are some things that's just not good, especially the older you get. You can't keep going to parties at 50, 60 years old.
Oh, my word.
You ever see the old folks dance and they say, oh, I used to get that. Right. And the only thing they moving is a leg.
The two-step.
Their two-step is like a 1.5 step.
Exactly.
But some things you just have to let go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it doesn't mean that. And I heard a pastor speak some years ago, and he said that we're living our best days now. Mm-hmm. So we think about the good old days, but we are in our good days now.
Yes, that's good.
And we have to remember that we are living our best life now. Yeah. So as great as that time was, that season is over.
Yeah.
And we need to be in the present and in the now to make sure that we are living our best life, because if we continue to reminisce and stay stuck, we can never move forward and we can never walk into the destiny that God has for us.
Yeah. The awesome thing about what you just said is that if we don't start creating our own memories for now, what are we going to look back on 30 years from now? If we can look back on the 30 years before, why can't we create? We're not creating the memories. I think that's in the letting go.
It is, and then it's lost time.
Yes.
You lose time.
Yes.
And time is too precious.
Yeah. I like how you said that. You don't realize that you've been living in the past so much that you have not put yourself in a position to grow in the now. So again, back to my size 6 jeans. That's back to my size 6 jeans. If I cannot get into the jeans, they can sit in the closet all day. I can pick them up, I can look at them, and every now and then I might try to put a leg in, and it might get to like right about here. But it can either be ambition for me to keep moving forward to get into those jeans again, or it can be a depression that I get into because I'm not that person anymore.
Absolutely. And that goes back to looking at the glass half empty or the glass half full. If it's half empty, then we're going to be in that depression.
Yes.
If it's half full, okay, I got to get to the gym some more, but I'm going to get back in them.
Yeah. We like to talk about the gym, don't we?
Absolutely. Sounds good.
It sounds good. It sounds good, but at the end of the day, it just comes down to a point where there are some things that you really just have to lay at the floor. You have to be able to lay it at the floor. We have to start encouraging people to do it, though. We have to start encouraging people. And so how do you talk to your friends when it's time to let go? How do you say to them, like, you know what, girl, that mink that you've been wearing since we were in kindergarten when you first got that?
It doesn't do anything for you now. Does it bring you true joy and happiness?
Yeah.
If it does not, you have to let it go.
Yeah.
It is either adding to or taking away from.
Yeah.
And if people are either filling your bucket or they're emptying your bucket.
I like that. People are either filling it or they're emptying it. And I think we do have to get to that point where we start realizing, prioritizing, putting it down. I tell people to put it on paper, but we're going to talk about that more when we come back. We are going to take a break, and when we come back, we have another awesome topic for you. So stay right there. We'll be right back after these messages.
Watch the news lately, now I can see the hearts breaking. The world's going crazy. Enough is enough. Mothers and fathers losing sons and daughters. Senseless tragedies. But I believe we will rise up. Take a stand, never give up. We'll never break, never lose hope. No. See, I believe better days are ahead of us. So wipe your tears, hold your head up. Cause at the end of the tunnel, peeking through the darkness, I can see the morning. We will rise. Yeah. We gon' shine. We gon' shine through the darkness. We go high. Even when it go low, we gon' be alright. We will rise. Keep your head up, keep your head up, yeah. Fear and hatred, they grip our nation. There's no compassion. So tell me, where's the love? Social injustice, secret motives, seeing double edged. Enough is enough, 'cause we will rise up. Take a stand, never give up. We'll never break, never lose hope. Oh. See, I believe better days are ahead of us. So wipe your tears, hold your head up. At the end of the tunnel, peeking through the darkness, I can see the morning. Yeah, we will rise. We will rise. We'll rise. Yeah, we gon' shine. We gon' shine through the darkness. Oh yeah. Even when it go low, we gon' be alright. We will rise.
As all this stuff is revealed, I know it's hard. I know the struggle is real, but so is God. He can either calm this storm or he can be Noah's Ark. And in him we can survive the flood that's on us all. He said temptation to come, just be ready for it. Doubt screams what if, faith says I already know it. But what good is a mustard seed if you never sow it? Rise up, we finna move this mountain, prepare the ocean.
Welcome back to the Red Room. I am your host, Shay Samuels, and I'm here with Miss Wendy, my sister now. My sister now, yes. My sister now. We have been having an awesome time on this show, and we just want to thank you all for joining us again. And you stayed tuned, so thank you so much for staying with us. We are going to talk about another topic because these are topics that people need to talk about. Sometimes don't, not so transparent about it. But this topic in specific is about knowing that Jesus died for our sins, yet we still want to party in our own sins. And some of y'all know, y'all are out there and God is dealing with you. God is gnawing at you. You know that there's something on the inside of you that's bubbling up and it's time for change, and you still want to live in the sin. Why? Because it feels good. We know it feels good. So we're going to talk to you about the overcoming, the redemption of that today, so that you can get on the other side of that blessing. Ain't that right, Miss Wendy?
Absolutely, Shay. Absolutely. And that feeling is, and I think sometimes people think that God is they're going to hear us. They're going to hear him say
that
something.
audible voice.
Yes. And some people do.
Mm-hmm.
However, sometimes it's not. It may be a sign, a billboard. It may be something that you're reading. It might just be a feeling that just something is just not right.
Yeah.
And all of those things are signs that he's talking to us.
Yeah.
And that we need to take some type of action.
Yeah.
It's something that we need to do.
Yeah, and I like that because you're all about action. Your ministry is all about action. So talk a little bit about what you actually do.
Yes.
And how relevant what we're talking about is to you.
So I'm a personal and professional development strategist. And what I do is coach folks who are experiencing fear, anxiety, self-doubt, and they are looking to not only exist in this world that we live, but to thrive.
Yeah.
And to be more a part of, engaged.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we become disengaged.
Mm-hmm.
We get so deep in our stuff, and that stuff that we're not necessarily listening for that God is trying to tell us.
Yes.
And that we are going down a hole. And I was in that hole before, so I know the only thing that I could describe it as a deep, dark hole, and I didn't have an exit plan and no way to get out.
Wow.
And I don't know how many other folks have felt like that or feels like that.
Yeah.
But it's just a horrible, horrible place to be in. And I could never have imagined in a million years that I would have been in such a place.
Yeah.
And it was because I was not listening.
Yeah.
I was out doing my thing, or what I thought my thing was.
Yeah.
Not walking in my destiny, not walking in my calling and what I was supposed to be doing. So all of the voices that I heard, I kind of pushed through them because I'd gone to school, I've gotten all these degrees, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what I want to do.
Yeah.
But that was not what I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
And the season had passed for that. And I did not recognize when the season was ending.
Yeah.
Because I was going to take it into some more seasons.
Wow.
And it wasn't until I started experiencing things to let me know that I need to start listening to the signs.
Wow. And then that possibly is what got you into the ministry that you're in now.
Absolutely. Because I know that as I was trying to carry through that season, that place of fear, anxiety, and self-doubt is what I was struggling with.
Yeah.
And as I was struggling with that, and when I made it through, because he does allow us, once he sits you down, because he will sit you down, once he sits you down and help you to realize what your purpose is.
That well moment, that in the belly of the whale.
Yes, absolutely.
He got to get you in the belly of the whale.
Absolutely. And then the clarity comes. And from that clarity, I realized that there are other people out here who are struggling the same way that I struggled. And for a long time, I thought something was wrong with me. Like, this is normal. This is the way that I should be operating. This is how I should be pushing forward. And then when I realized, no, it's not necessarily normal, but then it's where do you turn? Who do you talk to?
Wow.
And we have this stigma about mental health, and we have this stigma about getting help and being proactive. So my role is where folks don't know where to turn, then I'm here. I've been there. I've done that. Like, my goal is now to help you on your journey.
Yeah, and I think that you go through what we go through. I know that we go through what we go through for other people, and it's one of God's ways of kind of like, if you know how your mom used to wring that rag out, and they would just keep wringing and wringing and wringing. And sometimes when you kind of flip whatever it is open, it's so it's
Yes.
It looks like it's damaged, but it's not really damaged. But it's wrung out so badly that it's just wrinkled up. You know,
We are a hot mess.
and that's where I was going
Exactly.
with it.
We are a hot mess.
And that's what's happening when you feel that gnawing in you. God is wringing you out, you know, and some people listen to it and some people don't. I've seen people die just because they did not listen to the gnawing in the belly. They didn't listen to the gnawing in the heart. And they've had people in their ears that would just be like, it's not real. It's not real. Those who don't believe.
Absolutely. And those are the people that, if you're paying attention, they shouldn't be on your journey with you.
Okay, and by their fruits, you should know who they are.
Absolutely.
So what are they adding to you? What are they taking away from you?
I got to a place where my bucket was so empty. I had nothing to give anybody. Nothing. And I have never, ever felt that way. I am the most giving person of my time, just whatever.
Yeah.
I got to a place where I had nothing to give.
Wow.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
And then when you have people in your life that all they have is negative energy,
Yeah.
and they pull that in, they're sucking
Yeah.
you dry.
Yeah.
And those are the people that you have to spread out,
Yeah.
and put them in a compartment, because everybody has a place and everything has a place.
Yeah.
So you put them in their compartment so they won't take what's
So
in
you
your
can
bucket.
live.
Yes.
So you
Yes.
can live. And you
Yes.
know, if you trust God enough, God will start bringing the right people around you.
Oh,
And that's the whole game plan. The whole game plan is for your level of increase. So when you start seeing people, you're like, I would have never hung out with that person before.
In our hot mess, when we're in our hot mess, we would not.
Yeah.
We would not.
I would have never hung out with that person before. And then your other friends see you with that person and they're like, what are you doing with that person? Why are you, jobs start opening up that never opened up for you before. But it's like, how am I making this much money when I never? It's because you're somewhat now giving in to the calling of God, that gnawing that's in your belly.
And you're listening.
Yes.
You're listening and you're being obedient
Yeah.
to Him.
Yeah. I heard a story once about a guy. It was a guy, but it was like in a car, and he went to go get milk, and he didn't know why. And then he went from the milk to like this person's house, and the lights were out. When he knocked on the person who opened the door had a baby crying in the background. And she was saying the reason why the baby was crying is because she didn't have any milk.
Wow.
There was a gnawing in him. And it was a story that I kind of read somewhere when I was younger, but it stuck with me because that's a gnawing.
And that's
he was coming
amazing.
from a club.
That's amazing.
He was coming from a club.
That is amazing.
Yeah. And people might not even feel that they have the ability to hear God clearly. So explain the gnawing.
Everybody's knowing is different.
Yeah.
It's different. I've remembered, I've had instances where I've called a friend and said, I don't know why I'm calling you and telling you this. However, blah, 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 blah. 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why. I don't know what it was. I said, God put it on my heart for me to tell you this, and I needed to call you and tell you. I don't know why. Or, again, it's that feeling that's, you're telling me some things, but you're not telling me everything.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
but you're keeping something from me.
That's that intuition.
It is, and that's just God speaking.
That's
it's just
intuition.
speaking, and He's giving it to us. We just have to be able to tap into it.
Amen. Well, in closing, I want to make sure people know where to find you. You told them about your business, but I want people to know where to find you.
For more information, you can find me at www.wendylhamlin.com.
And it was an amazing time with you today, and I thank you so much for joining me. This is The Red Room. Again, I am your host, Shay Samuels, and you joined us for another episode, and we just want to say thank you, and we will see you again on the next episode of The Red Room.
It's a praise party.
opened my eyes and I knew I was blessed. Been a long week, whole lot of gloom. I need to dance, y'all, give me some room. Don't need nobody to wait up for me. I'm gonna dance till I get free. Yeah. Look at the devil, he's getting all excited. Somebody tell him he's not invited. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna praise him all night long. Yeah, 'cause it's a praise party. We don't know when we're going home. Yeah, it's a praise party. It's a praise party. We're gonna praise him all night long. It might be after midnight, I don't know. Yeah, we don't know when we're going home. I checked your name and you're on the list. Blessings are coming, the show won't miss. There are some things that we need to fix. Somebody homeless, somebody been sick. Lay down your purse, take off your shoes. God's been good, gotta spread the news. I see the devil, he's getting all excited. I thought I told him he's not invited. This is only for God's people. We're gonna praise him all night long. Yeah, 'cause it's a praise party. We don't know the time. We don't know when we're going home. Praise him on my left, praise him on my right. Yeah, come on. I'm gonna praise him all through the night. You ought to get up right now. It's hard, I know it gets hard sometimes, but I'm gonna praise him all. Somebody need a breakthrough here. You can dance. Yeah. 3-inch heels. Just tell the Lord. Tell the Lord just how you feel. Yeah, yeah. Don't need nobody to wait up for me. I'm gonna be home late tonight. I'm gonna dance till I get free. Listen. Yeah, 'cause it's a praise party. Come on, let's praise him. Praise him all night long. Everything it's that happened. Come on and praise his name. Know when we're going home. Yeah, it's a praise party. You ought to lift your hands right there. Praise him all night long. Somebody clap your hands. Stomp your feet. We don't know when we're going home. Everything that has breath, come on and praise his name. Get up out of your seat. Move to your left, move to your right. Come on and praise his name. Sing a song, do your dance. Ever you do, come on and praise.